Dana, obviously the John Jones fight everyone watched, and he's, going at it with Stipe coming up here. There's a lot of talk with Ngannou now. Is he done completely with the UFC, or do you think there's a chance that you and him might work something out and he could come back?
No, we worked with this guy for 2 years to try to get him a fight. He's absolutely impossible to deal with. He'll never be in the UFC again. So he made his decision. We worked hard, man. And one of my guys, Hunter Campbell, who works for me, must have done 75 dinners with this guy trying to get him, on board. We offered him a lot of money, showed him nothing but respect. We wanted to keep him, and that ship has sailed.
Why?
Good.
Why didn't he want to? He just didn't think you were meeting the criteria? Because he comes from what, like a sand factory mine?
Yeah.
Like his story is an incredible one. Just couldn't get to the number? What was it? Was it everything else? What is it?
I have no idea. I literally don't even think about him anymore. We've moved on, and the bottom line is there's no doubt John Jones is the best heavyweight in the world. So John Jones will fight whoever until John Jones decides to retire. It's fascinating because when you think about John Jones disappeared for a few years, then he pops up and says he wants to fight one of these guys. He doesn't care who it is. He'd have fought Francis. He'd have fought Stipe, Cyril, whoever it is. Then he comes in and he starts talking like, I'm going to walk right through this guy. I'm going to make it look so easy. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a pretty bold statement to say then he does it and poof, he's gone again. John Jones goes back underground and let me know when the Stipe fight's done. And he is a fascinating, talented artist to deal with.
So you have not heard from him since?
Wow.
I haven't heard a word out of him.
What do you mean? Like, hey, John, congratulations
on
David Copperfield.
Yeah.
That is
He's
awesome.
back in New Mexico doing whatever he does, man. He's shooting guns. He's got German Shepherds. He's, doing his thing.
Hey, congrats to John Jones. Just fucking, fucking. That is awesome. Go ahead, AJ.
Dana, coming from the position you have and so many people getting at you, isn't that kind of nice, kind of a relief that you don't have to deal with a guy every single day probably trying to text you and bug you about things?
Yeah, I mean, I love making the big fights and making fights that should happen when they're supposed to happen. But, in the history of this company, since I've been here, right, 22, 23 years, whatever it is, there's only 2 fights where we weren't able to make. A Fedor fight with Brock Lesnar, and then a Francis Ngannou fight. Not a bad record, and I'll take it.
You know why? I think it's because the way you go about doing business, everybody knows exactly what they're getting. For instance, yesterday, press conference, to promote a fight, you have Jorge Masvidal and Gilbert Burns there, and they ask a question about, Colby Covington or the next opportunity at the title, and you go, Colby Covington cut weight in London, he's got the next one. Then you take your drink of water, then there's booing, there's a little bit of a scene, and then it's like, all right, next question. This is how this is going to be. You've always been that way. Heavy is the head, I guess. Making those decisions, you're not always going to be a fan favorite. Is that something you even worry about at this stage of anything?
No, listen. Our fans are pretty good, man. They we got to set up. The thing that drives me crazy is yesterday we're up there and we're dealing with some of these MMA guys that are just fucking stupid, unprofessional, and looking for clickbait and dumb shit. And you got these guys going up. Kevin Holland and Masvidal got into it. So they want to get up and start asking questions. Why did you guys get in a fight? What's going on with this? Shut the fuck up. These guys aren't fighting, okay? And it's not a good thing that they got in a fight in the background, in the back of the whatever, And it's so disrespectful to the guy that they're actually fighting. Do you have questions? These guys are gonna fight these other guys that are sitting up on the stage. Do you have any intelligent questions that you would like to ask them? And then that other fucking idiot gets up there and goes, now that the WWE deal is done, who would you like to hit with a fucking chair? You, motherfucker. That's who we like. Fuck up.
Hell yeah.
That's what I got to deal with every fucking weekend. Listen to this fucking idiot.